Hi, welcome to today's video and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be answering this question. You've got $1 million in retirement assets, you're 60 years of age, and you're beginning to ask yourself, can you retire? Will your money last you throughout your retirement? Now I know many of you have similar questions. Some of you have a little bit more, some of you have a little bit less, but you've got to stick around to watch this entire video. If you're going to watch one video from front to the end, this is the one. I'm going to take you through exactly how I do a full plan so you can see exactly how I answer this question. This won't be a long video. I've done some of the work ahead of time so I can flip to those areas real fast. But here's what you're going to see in this video, okay? This is everything you guys are asking about. I'm showing it to you in this one video. 1, will the money last until age 90? So that's one of the planning ages. Where can this couple have enough money to last until age 90? Will they have to defer their CPP and old age security or take it sooner? So when are we doing that? Is there going to be a need to do an RSP meltdown? Do we do that? And you're maybe asking, what is an RSP meltdown? What is the effect of doing all these things on their estate value, and which comes out better than the other? So it's all in one video, and I'm going to zoom through it all. It's going to answer all your questions. Many of you are asking, you know, we want to get a financial plan done. We're concerned about spending money on that because we've never really had a plan done, and we're not sure, you know, you haven't bought into the idea that this is actually going to reveal the kind of answers you really need. Well, this is evidence that this is exactly what we do. If you don't get an answer in your mind after this video, I don't know what else to tell you about how great a retirement plan helps you figure out whether you can retire and retire on your own terms and enjoy your retirement. So without further ado, enough of my soapbox, let's get into why you're here today. Okay, let me introduce you to our couple, and that is Elizabeth and Philip. Now, this is not their real names. This is a real client example, but I've changed the names, changed the values around a little bit so that we're protecting privacy. But this is the kind of plans that I see every day. These are the kind of questions you have, and here's how I go about helping. Okay, you may see yourself in this example. Couple is wanting $8,000 per month of after-tax spending. They're 59, turning 60. They are planning on retiring at 65. They have a collective amount of $1 million in retirement assets. They have no debts, and they want to spend $15,000 per year in retirement. And they've got a house that's worth $1.5 million. Can you see yourself in that? You might have a little bit more, you might have a little bit less, but the strategies I'm going to be showing you are sound, and we do them for many people, and they have similar results. So let's get into the planning software. This is where your plan comes alive here. Okay, we're now looking at this couple's plan. Take all your information. So what do we do when you start a plan? We send you a document. You fill in the document. It gives us all the details we need to create a plan. We have that put into the software, and then that is your life, how you're spending money, how you're investing money, how you're making money, and we put that in and along with some of your goals, and we say, does that work? Without doing any planning, does your plan, your current situation actually work? So to answer your question, the first thing is, can we do this with $8,000 per month? No. You see here, any pink on the page means this couple runs out of money. And so we say, okay, that's not going to work. Why you came to us is make it work. And so let me show you how we make it work. Okay, so now here I've got some planning I've already started and done for you, so I'll walk you through what changes we've made. So the first change I would make, in which we made with this couple, is I'd ask a question about your income that you need in retirement. Is it a realistic thing to consider that someone who is young at age 65, energetic, with a lot of, you know, travel goals, is going to spend the same amount of money at age 65 as they would when they're 80 and 85? Probably not. You're going to see that your income, you want more of it in the beginning and less in the later part of your life because you're more sedentary, you sleep a lot more, you eat a lot less, unlikely going to get on a plane and go live somewhere for 3 months and travel a lot because of the risk of being out of country and having a major medical situation going on. So it's likely that you're going to taper off that income that you need later on. So what I've done is I've just simply moved the $8,000 a month, or $96,000 per year, to $70,000 per year in retirement starting at age 80. And look what happens, the pink goes away. So that's solving miracle number one, is having a realistic expectation of how you use your money and how much you're going to need in retirement gives us a point to begin planning. So the first part of planning is take your basic needs, and that's your real life, that's what that column means, real life need for expenses, so $96,000 per year after tax, and then plus the travel. So if I go back to the top, $15,000 per year. So that's how you read this, okay? So $96,000 of after-tax spending. This means this money is used for keeping the lights on, utilities, groceries, clothes, gifts, date night with your spouse, putting gas in the car, paying your insurance, paying your car payment even maybe. All those expenses plus $15,000 for travel. It does not, that $96,000 does not include making deposits into your registered accounts, paying debts if you had debts to pay. This is all about your basic lifestyle needs. And then we layer, once we say you can afford basic lifestyle, then we layer on your wants. And your wants are, we'd like to travel, we'd like to do renovations, we'd like to give some money to the kids, we'd like to buy a retirement residence. Like, all these wants come after the basic needs. So the basic needs in this is $96,000. It's a pretty high basic need, but that's fine. And then $15,000. All these numbers are adjusted for inflation. You see the black numbers, that's going up with inflation. You see at age 65 when they retire, $96,000 is actually $111,000 adjusted for inflation. The $15,000 per year is actually adjusted now at $17,000 to travel. So all of the spending is being adjusted for inflation. So that's step one. That's solved. Have a realistic spending expectation. Now the next one that I want to share with you is this idea of when to begin CPP and old age security. If we go back to the first scenario, you can see here that under the first scenario, they have CPP and old age security. This is the default situation with software beginning at age 65. And you can see their assets here without doing any planning. Their assets, they run out of money, right? And you can see when they stop working, they need some money. And so they draw out from their TFSA and some of their RSP. They got a total of $1.3 million at age 65, but they take $85,000 from their TFSA and $14,000 from their RSP. That supplies them with enough money to pay to fund these goals that we talked about over here, plus CPP and old age security. But look at what's happening here. The taxes are really quite low. If I go to Philip and look at these individually, look at the tax rate, 2.5%. There's an opportunity here for us. Same with Elizabeth. Elizabeth has the same dollar amount that she's got invested. Well, it's zero tax rate. So we actually have an opportunity to do an RSP meltdown. So let's go back to the planning scenario. When you look at this here, we go to Philip, we have an opportunity that if we push CPP off to age 70 and old age security off to 70, creates this space where we don't have any income from government benefits, that we can now do an RSP meltdown. So all of you asking me, what is an RSP meltdown? RSP meltdown is before you RIF your RSP, so RSPs convert to a RIF at age 71, we're actually going to do withdrawals of the RSP. And so I'm taking a $50,000 because that's going to drop them under the lowest tax rate if we do $50,000. So it could probably even take a little bit more, but we're just trying to give you like an example here. But $50,000 comes out, and then about $20,000 the last 2 years just to sort of finish off the RSP meltdown. And you can see the tax rate goes up. So what we're mindful of when we have this discussion with you, the client, we're saying how much more in taxes are you willing to pay now today to get that money out of your RSP, to put it in your tax-free savings account to be used later on if and when you want to use it. And the other reason, obviously, is to not leave it behind when you pass away. So by doing that, you can see that we do this in Philip. We're going to do that in Elizabeth as well. Same amount of money, tax rate. And by the way, the tax rate is fairly consistent the way through their life. So we're sort of like trying to keep a level tax rate throughout their lifetime. So they're still supplying them with enough money to hit all their goals. And you can see $165,000 left in the RSP. We could go a little bit further if we wanted to, but that's enough for this example. But you can see all the way down here, the total all types. You can see there's combined RSP 341. So we could melt down more for this client, but that gives you some insight as to how we go about beginning to fine-tune someone's RSP meltdown, is looking at how much more tax are you willing to pay, how much do we have left at the end, and having a discussion with you saying, can you agree to take a little bit more out of your RSP, and then you'll have less left for CRA or for the government that you don't particularly like, depending on which color you are on that side of the page. But that's the whole goal. Now, so what have we done? We've had a conversation about a realistic expense, so income that is needed. We've had a discussion around should you defer or take your CPP right away and your old age security right away. Given the fact that the RSP was high, that there was an opportunity with a zero tax rate to do an RSP meltdown. Wow, that was great. So we get to move some of that RSP off of the RSP and into the TFSA. So what is the net outcome of all these decisions? Let's look at this. If you look at the total tax that this person or this couple pays by doing planning, so doing all these things, they're going to spend $717,000 in taxes. That's working until 64 and then using their money until age 90. They're going to spend $717,000 in taxes year over year, right? The cumulative amount, using these strategies. If we go back to the without a strategy, they're going to spend $771,000. So yeah, they run out of money here, but they also pay more tax. So two bad situations. So they're losing about $54,000 more in taxation by not having a plan. So okay, planning is saving you year over year taxes. Let's look at the estate values. Here's without planning and here's with planning. So without planning, they run out of money, they pay more tax year over year, and their estate is worth $3 million. With planning, they pay $54,000 less tax, and they have $1 million more in their estate when they pass away at age 90. That is a retirement plan. You know, I could tweak it a little bit more, but I'm just trying to give you, we've got this plan to 98% of what we ought to be doing with this. There's a little bit more on the RSP meltdown that we could do, but we've already come a huge distance, right? So this is the value of doing planning, is really answering those big questions. Do you have enough money to retire? Will your money last you throughout your retirement? How do you save taxes along the way? How do you elevate your estate value? How do you not leave money behind for CRA? How do you melt that RSP down? All in one video. I got it all done for you. So if you have any questions, please put your comments below. The other thing I'd like to know too is, do you want to see more of this? Let me know. Do you want to see more of me doing and showing you real life examples, different kinds of couples, singles, people with pensions, without pensions, that kind of thing? Put your comments below. I'd love to hear your comments. That way I can deliver the kind of plans you want to see in advance. But this is a great example to you of why a retirement plan is so useful for you as you enter retirement. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks and be well.